All right, here we are, and
Here
we
you
are. Here I am. Look at that. There she is.
Please bear in mind we've never met before.
Shablam. Welcome. All right. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for welcoming me here.
I love your pink dress.
Thank you. I love your silver outfit. I was wearing one just like this. You look gorgeous today.
Thank you. But this makes me want to change into a pink dress, and that's so frowned upon in my world.
I'm America's gender-conforming drag queen, and I'm ready to tell you that it's okay to wear pink and play into whatever stereotypes and fantasies about femininity you want to play into.
Well, I think that's happening over here.
Let's do it. I almost cried when I was looking at some of these tiny rooms, and there's something about them that's so emotional for me, and I'm not sure exactly even what it is. Like when I was really young, my mother had a dollhouse that her father made, and it doesn't have any dolls in it. It's just these empty spaces where like you just arrange the furniture and make a world that you live in your mind. And that's what I was thinking of when I was looking.
Well, you just sort of explained 40 years of my work, so
okay.
Our work here is
Thank
done.
you. All right, let's have it.
Let's just get this straight. I didn't really play with dolls. I was too sort of ADD, ADHD, peripatetic. I would cut the hair off and cut the heads off. Looking back on my childhood, or an idealized version of my childhood, I thought so much about the dollhouse because those spaces always intrigued me.
Yeah.
And I think number one for a child, particularly a female child, female-identified child, is this idea of control in a world that feels increasingly lack of control. That somehow you're the god or the queen of this universe, of this domestic universe that in real life your mother runs. You know, your father or whatever. When I was doing this, I actually thought that people would confuse the scale of the spaces, particularly when there was not a doll in them. I thought, well, maybe they'd think they were real rooms.
Do you feel like you're reimagining and mending parts of your life when you make these spaces, or?
I think I love the idea of reimagining and mending so much more than the idea of reimagining and critiquing.
Right.
Because from the moment I had my first show, which were these works in color at Artist Space, my work was written about like it was a feminist critique.
Right.
And it wasn't that. I wasn't criticizing my mother's life. I wasn't saying she was trapped in this dollhouse.
Right.
I was sort of saying that it looked really good and interesting because it was the suburbs and everything had to be perfect. And the farther we had a little
everything
wardrobe
has to
malfunction.
be perfect. No! My suburban life is destroyed.
What? Let's each wear one ear.
Yeah, okay.
The thing about growing up in the suburbs, particularly the post-World War II suburbs, was that the surface had to be perfect.
Right.
That's why I didn't do so well there, because I was a really imperfect child.
Where was the opening inspiration for these?
This series is called Kigurumi, and there are cosplayers who wear these masks and are led around to parties and clubs, and people assume these characters. And one thing I loved about it was that underneath, you could be a boy, you could be a girl, it didn't really matter. And your identity with your character was so strong that you had almost a second life where you wanted to live as this character. So this is my child Cyrus, and I let each of my children pick the character they wanted to be. Lena was having a lot of health issues, and she was relating to Audrey Hepburn, and she found this picture, a very classic picture of Audrey Hepburn on the phone. And this is, all the clothes are painted on. The children are basically naked. When I had children, I thought they are going to do something that I can't imagine. It's the gender thing. I mean, that's the thing that would have been unimaginable to me.
I remember the journey that I had to go through. You know, I was a straight male and trying to figure out how to be that. And then I started wanting to live half of my life as a woman. So I was trying to figure out what that meant.
You're sort of opening doors for a generation that can end up not giving a crap about a lot of things because of what you did.
Right.
And that's what I feel about what my generation did.
Thank you so much for inviting us into your studio.
Thank you so much for coming.
Just know that your images are so warm and welcoming as a queer person. Just like feel like you have permission to just go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And it's inspiring just to look Look at you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.